This is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another car video. The Rise of the Tantra Man. Yeah, I wanted to get into that because, for what everybody talks about in this space, and as far as dealing with women, or even guys talking alpha, beta, or select, non-select, there's a type of man who's he's more of an outlier, and not in terms of being a diesel, right? And it's just a totally different vibration. Wait, hold on a second. Now, real quick, usually when I do that, I'm hollering at some woman going into the gym, but no, I just had to cough, and I don't want somebody to say, "Hey, Rom, you all right?" Yo, just real quick, that's the only thing about this whole COVID thing. If you just get a regular old cold or just a regular old flu, they all still around. People be like looking at you funny, be like, "What you coughing for?" Seriously. But anyway, right? Rise of the Tantra Man. Who is the Tantra Man? And it's, it's deeper than just saying they practice Tantra. Or some people say Tantra, tomato. I say Tantra, right? Whatever you want to call it. But the bottom line with it is it's growing. I say it's a tiny group of men. It's not major yet. They ain't really hit the streets yet. And what it is, you have a group of men out there. They are learning learning sexual skills. I think that's the best way to look at it. They learning specific skills, because there's basic sex and skillful sex. Basic sex is, you stick it in, pump for, 20, 30 strokes, since the average man lasts only about 3 minutes. And you bust your nut, roll over and stuff, sleep. The woman either gets her toy out. She either gets her toy out, or she go find Mr. Goodbar, who can last a little bit longer, but he don't necessarily have skills, right? He don't necessarily have skills. He just arouses her, but he can make her feel better than average. But see, the Tantra Man actually learned those skills to send him into orbit. And the Tantra Man practicing, definitely Tantra, and there's like so many damn forms of Tantra, it's scary. Like, I know a lot of people know I've frequently referenced Master Yao. He calls this form shamanic Tantra, and a big thing with him is teaching men and women really, but in this case specifically men, how to make a woman have an orgasm without touching them, And also, I had mentioned another gentleman who kind of introduced the whole thing, on a larger scale with a certain group of people, Shatam Nidiyama, right? And some people have seen it and they thinking all this weird shit, but if you really understand a woman, you don't need to touch. She can have an orgasm just by you looking at it. Just, you just walk in, dip your head, and be like, and shoot, she's screaming, she hollering. But that's the woman's nature. That's why they like attention and stuff. They don't need a man to penetrate her. Shit, you ground them good on the dance floor or something, they'll come. But, and that's one way, that's just one way. Tantra, like this one Tantra dude, I remember I was at this workshop, and this dude just looked like a old school street player. He had a gold tooth, had one of those old school, player leisure shirts on, summer shirts and some shades and stuff. And he hit us with some stuff. But one thing he has said, Tantra is basically prolonging the act, being in the moment, really enjoying it. It's just making it last long. Instead of some wham bam thank you man, being in pleasure for a couple hours. Now, one thing, a woman, she'll like a Tantra Man because she can have multiple orgasms with him. He'll keep her going. Because one thing a true Tantra Man can practice is real semen retention. What's real semen? See, a lot of people throw it out there and they think it's just not jacking off. No, that's just no fap. True semen retention is when you can go up in a woman raw. Notice I'm saying raw, and that come. Like, and you could be up in there for a couple hours and that come. Because you can control your shit so much. So, and that's actually a good thing Because then, as long as you trust the woman and stuff, you can have sex with her without a condom. As long as you trust her, y'all get tested and all that these days. But that's real semen retention, but that's a skill. If you look at the Kama Sutra, right? And I'm actually reading it again. I hadn't read it. I had a copy recently, but I hadn't read it in years. I'm reading it again and getting another insight into it. And because that's a Tantra thing. Even though they don't use the word Tantra, but that's a Tantra thing. Anything that takes sex to another level in sexual dynamics, Hell, you got a secret cult in secret group of women in Thailand, the White Tigers Society, or Society of the White Tigers, one of them. And shit, they taking giving blowjobs to a mystical level. they taking it to a whole new level. And I know a man, if they familiar with it, would want to be a jade dragon. But that's just some other stuff. You got the Tao sexology, all of that stuff. Yeah, you got a growing group of men who really get into it. And they get some women, because one of the things with it is it changes a man's energy, how he approaches the women, how he interact with them. And he might not have money, status, or what's consensually considered good looks, but once he develops those styles and it becomes a part of his consciousness, women actually pick up on that. Women pick up on it, right? And especially some cat who can practice, the shamanic version of Tantra. Shit, they just be around a woman, she'd be like, whoo. But there's a rise in that, and I'm gonna tell you what, I've never seen that shit work even better than a lot of stuff people putting out there. That works a little bit better. Now I'm gonna hit y'all with something. I don't really promote this, but actually what I do, I don't necessarily talk about it online, I don't talk about it publicly. I tap a little bit, I tap more into sexual dynamics on my Patreon, right? But if you were to tap into what I can really get into, it's just a form of Tantra. Because, I know some people, I'm known as a dating coach, and I just let it go, but technically I'm more of a sex coach. Sexual dynamics. Because even when I'm talking about the body game, that's a sexual dynamic right there. And there's actually a deeper aspect of it, because subliminally women, they just get turned on by certain body parts. And if you figure out which of your body parts turn on certain women, then you know what to promote. But there's more and more dudes like that. And that's the funny thing. You look at the dudes, and to the naked eye, to the man, they probably just look like regular dudes. You're like, how are you getting all these women? Tantra, some type of sexual skill. Hell, he doing sets of 9. Now, real quick, let me get a sets of 9, because every time I talk about it, people, hey, what can I do? It's very simple, right? And I've said this before on here, but I'm gonna share this. I'm throwing out one. I'm throwing out a bone, mainly because save me the time from Googling it, right? But sets of 9 is simple. When you having sex with the woman, right? You start out with 9 shallow thrusts. See, a woman's G-spot is up close anyway. It's about an inch in anyway. You don't even have to go deep to really get it, right? So a G-spot's up close. So that's one that's stimulating the G-spot. But anyway, 9 shallow thrusts. And then one long one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Do it kind of slow too. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the 10th one, get up in there, right? Then pull it out slow too. Trust me. Pull it out slow. I ain't even gonna tell y'all about how to map a pussy. But y'all gotta hit up Master Yao stuff for that. But so it's like, okay, 9 shallow, 1 long one, then you just pull it out nice and slow, then just to the kind of tip, and then 8 shallow thrusts and 2 long ones. 7 shallow thrusts, 3 long ones. 6 shallow thrusts, 4 long ones. Right? And so on, and then to the end, it's like 10 long thrusts. And then at that point, she all blessed out, like she started floating and stuff. She started to speak in tongues to the great pumpkin. And then you can, she's blissed out. And then you could just go off, right? So that's part of like the skill set. Also knowing the 9 levels of orgasm and stuff, right? Because you'll know when women, trust me, if a woman start cursing you out and say hard and all that, she's at level 5, right? But that's the key. You got all those skills because, see, look, the bottom line with a woman when she having sex, she wants satisfaction. That's the bottom line. And, when she'll deal with a guy, of course she'll deal with a man with money and, looking like a fashion model, but some of those women, they'll cheat with some regular dude for no other reason than he's satisfied. He make that G-spot drop. And that's a key thing. That's a key thing. And so what you got is an increasing amount of men trained in it. And it's more than just because, I'm going to tell you what, and this is anybody who's read the Kama Sutra, they'll tell you it's deeper than actual positions and everything. It's deeper because there's a dynamic, because the real sexual seduction of a woman starts way before you penetrate her, way before clothes are off, hell, way before you meet her. Because it's some actions and how you carry yourself and everything. So you have an increasing amount of men doing it, and you got different tantra teachers. So you might deal with one, but then somebody show you something else. And I'll probably get deeper into it like in the next year. But actually, anybody who's followed my stuff and got, purchased like some of my on-demand videos or follow me on Rom TV, I actually gave a lot already. And it's not really a secret, but you gotta just practice it. You gotta practice it. And there's, but you gotta focus on it. See, a lot of guys focus on some stuff they don't need to focus on. And the best all that is bait. But I'm gonna tell you what, with women, on a deep level with women, their whole thing is about what they feel from a man. The vibe they feel. Because women feel. That's the main thing with them. So, you got some Tantra men out there, they're making the women feel a certain way. And it's more than just visual. It's more than just visual. So, anyway, right? That's all I have for now. Yeah, this is going to be kind of blurry. That's because it's raining out this joint. So, anyway, I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.